Venezuela officially opened the Simón Bolívar Institute for Peace and Solidarity. Julian Assange has appeared at the British Central Criminal Court in London at the start of the extradition hearing. The head of state and government of the Economic Community of Western African States arrived in the Republic of Niger to attend the meeting of the 57th session of the community. From the headquarters of TeleSUR English in Havana, Cuba, this is From the South. I'm Laura Palmeiro. Venezuela officially opened online the Simón Bolívar Institute for Peace and Solidarity among the people on Saturday, which seeks to promote the work of Latin American liberator Simón Bolívar. The institute's main objective is to gather international support for the Bolivarian revolution in the face of the constant threats by the government of the United States and the President Donald Trump. The Foreign Affairs Minister Jorge Arreaza led the opening ceremony that had the virtual presence of over 100 intellectual and political leaders from all over the world. According to the Institute's official website, the center will seek to promote multilateralism, peace, and promote scientific research in the region. It is also a space for training research, debate, and discuss the strengthening of international relations, among other things. The leader of the Brazilian landless movement, João Pedro Estedil, offered the collaboration of the social movement to the Simón Bolívar Institute for Peace and Solidarity between people.
I want to send my greetings in this important day for the installation of the Simón Bolívar Institute, which appears in a very important moment. The best vaccine that the people need to face the imperialism is the solidarity, the cooperation between countries. That's why the actions of this institute will be key nowadays. You can count with our support and contribution from the Brazilian social movements.
Former Bolivian President Evo Morales congratulated Venezuela for the foundation of the Simón Bolívar Institute, highlighting that it will serve as part of the process to gather people around justice as sovereignty fights all over the world.
I send my greetings to the new movement, Simón Bolívar Institute for Peace and Solidarity of the people in the world. Any social, communicational, political, and ideological movement will always be welcome by the humble people, for those who are organized, to guarantee sovereignty and independence of the state, the identity of the people, taking care the respect and admiration to this new movement that will also defend our Bolivarian revolution of Venezuela, all united in our dear Venezuela.
Mexico's ruling party, Morena, will seek support in both houses of Congress to nationalize lithium and strengthen Mexican oil businesses, Pemex, the biggest state in industry. The issue arose in response to the economic recovery efforts after the crisis caused by more than 6 months of COVID-19 pandemic. Nationalizing lithium, reinforcing the role of Pemex as a market leader, as well as several changes in the Federal Electricity Commission, regulating bodies, and the hydrocarbons law are some of the reforms that Morena's parliamentary group in the Senate proposed in the legislative agenda for the first ordinary session to be held from September to January 2021. In Ecuador, the prefect of Pichincha, Paola Pavón, denounced once again political persecution from the government of Lenín Moreno against her. In an interview on Sunday, Pavón denounced that the prosecutor's office is being pressured by the government.
I'm telling you, right here, right now, looking at all of you, I'm not living in this hard moment, because this is precisely the moment when we have to be with you. I see Rosita, I see Magdalena, I see lots of people without jobs who are cleaning the construction sites despite the current situation every day. You really think I will have the guts to go away and leave you here alone? I would never do that.
Outstanding Caribbean diplomat and academic Ronald Sanders called for CARICOM member states to duly exercise their rights to decide with which country they can alliances with and criticize U.S. attacks on Cuban international cooperation. Sanders, who is Antigua and Barbuda's ambassador to the U.S. and the Organization of American States, underlined his stance on a report entitled A Nation's Right to Decide Its Friends, published in Caribbean News Global. He wrote that there is no CARICOM country that has not been a beneficiary of Cuba's investment in medical science. Cuba has been the first to respond to natural disaster despite its mega resources, sharing what it has, thus gaining great respect from its neighbors, Sanders said. Same-sex partnerships in the Cayman Islands are legal after Governor Martin Roper approved the law for the British Overseas Territories. In his statement, the governor said that the move was in line with instructions from the UK government minister to use his reserve powers under Section 81 of the Constitution to write legislation, after the formerly titled Domestic Partnership Bill had been defeated in the Legislative Assembly on July 29 before being amended. The governor urged everyone to recognize that same-sex couples have the right to legal and financial protection like everyone else. Meanwhile, LGBTQIA+ group Cayman considered the law a significant step, but said the absolute marriage equality, which still doesn't exist, is the only true means of achieving equality. Electoral campaigns began in Bolivia this Sunday. Candidates and political parties prepared virtual and face-to-face activities ahead of the government 18 elections. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, electoral events have been enabled under biosecurity measures, and social networks will be the main stage of pronouncement of the parties. There are 8 candidates officially registered in the first round vote, but only 3 are eligible to win. A poll conducted by the Latin American Strategic Center for Geopolitics shows that the movement towards socialism candidate Luis Arce is leading with 41.9%, followed by 26.8% support for former President Carlos Mesa and 13% for the de facto President Janine Áñez. Originally scheduled for May 3rd, the elections have since been delayed 4 times by the country's de facto government.
People are sharing a meal, sometimes with music, voices that overlap, and it's necessary to raise the voice. There are all situations that even if they are done in open air, it's proof that they increase contagiousness. This is a matter that worries us.
And we'll take a short break now, so don't go away. Welcome back to From the South. The WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has appeared at the British Central Criminal Court in London at the start of an extradition hearing U.S. indictment that accuses him of recruiting hackers to steal military secrets. Julian Assange is facing a sentence of 175 years for publishing U.S. government documents revealing evidence of war crimes and human rights abuses. He was able to publish the reports thanks to a collaboration between WikiLeaks and multiple news organizations. According to the defense team, the political decision to prosecute is unprecedented and will set a chilling precedent for every journalist and publisher in the world. The Washington Post reported in 2013 that the Obama administration had not prosecuted Assange because there was no way to differentiate WikiLeaks activities from its media partners like the New York Times. At least 1 person died and 7 were injured in a series of knife attacks in Birmingham, United Kingdom. A statement released by local authorities said that one man died tragically, another man and a woman were seriously injured, and 5 others were also injured. Although their wounds are not believed to be life-threatening, the police says it's looking for a suspect in connection with the random knife attacks, which took place over a 2-hour period. Birmingham Mayor Andy Streets said that the area is calm and recommended the citizens to continue with their routines. The 29-year-old black man, Jacob Blake, who was shot 7 times in the back by the U.S. police last month, sent a video message from a hospital in Louisville, in Wisconsin.
I want to say, man, to all the young cats out there, and even the older ones, older than me, it's a lot more life to live out here, man. Your life, and not only just your life, your legs, something that you need to move around and move forward in life, can be taken from you like this, man. And I promise you, the type of shit that you will go through, staples, I got staples in my back, staples in my damn stomach. You do not want to have to deal with this shit, man. 24 hours, every 24 hours, it's pain, it's nothing but pain. It hurts to breathe, it hurts to sleep, it hurts to move from side to side, it hurts to eat. Please, I'm telling you, change our lives out there. We can stick together, make some money, make everything easier for our people out here, man, because there's so much time that has been wasted.
Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov met with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in Damascus on Monday. It was Lavrov's first visit to the Syrian capital for 8 years. Russia has been close ally with Assad in Syria's devastating civil war, lending vital military, economic and political support. The visit by Lavrov comes amid a severe economic crisis in Syria and the coronavirus pandemic. President al-Assad held a meeting with the Russian delegation headed by Deputy Prime Minister Yuri Borisov and other Russian diplomats led by Minister of Foreign Affairs Sergei Lavrov. The meeting dealt with issues related to economic, commercial and scientific and technical cooperation between the two nations. The Russian delegation will participate in a press conference, which will also be attended by the Russian ambassador to Syria, Alexander Yefimov, among other personalities. An inactivated COVID-19 vaccine and COVID-19 immunoglobulin for intravenous injection developed by the China National Biotech Group were shown for the first time at the ongoing 2020 China International Fair for Trading Services, which started in Beijing on Friday. COVID-19 immunology for intravenous injection, developed by Chinese group, is the most effective medicine to treat COVID-19 in the world currently, and it is made from the plasma of recovered COVID-19 patients. The inactivated COVID-19 vaccine developed by them is now under phase 3 clinical trials in several countries, including the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Peru, Morocco, and Argentina. Nearly 50,000 people from 115 countries have been enrolled for clinical trials.
This vaccine is tested on people from different races and different nationalities in order to test its safety and effectiveness. Based on its good progress, we can say that hopefully it will be on the market officially by the end of this year. Ordinary people will be able to access to it. Please don't worry, and people will be injected with it safely.
Chinese President Xi Jinping has said that only by joining hands to fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, which is the most serious global public health emergency since the end of the World War II, can the international community win this battle, as facts once again show that humanity is a community with a shared future. Since the epidemic broke out in December 2019, China, under Xi's leadership, has shared experiences and solutions in treating and containing COVID-19 with other countries, demonstrating its commitment to upholding mutual assistance and international cooperation as a major country through concrete actions. As of August 30, China had sent 33 medical expert teams to 31 countries, provided emergency medical supplies to more than 150 countries and international organizations, and shared epidemic containment information with over 180 countries and regions via online conferences.
This is a virus that respects no borders. The outbreak we are battling is our common enemy. We must comprehensively step up international cooperation and foster greater synergy. That humanity as one could win the battle against such a major infectious disease. Guided by the vision of building a community with a shared future for mankind, China will be more than ready to share our good practices. The Chinese government attaches great importance to it because the purpose of the government is to put the lives and health of the people at the top of all priorities.
A powerful typhoon lashed South Korea on Monday after smashing into southern Japan with record winds and heavy rains that left up to 8 people dead or missing. More than 300,000 households were still without power on Monday afternoon after Typhoon Haishen roared past Japan's southern island of Kyushu, ripping off roofs and dumping 20 inches of water in just a day. Rescue workers were peeking through mud and reached through it seas for missing people after a landslide in rural Miyazaki. Haishen, which came in the heels of another powerful typhoon, crashed into Okinawa on Saturday and moved northwards throughout Sunday. Around 1.8 million people were told to seek shelter for fear that a 200 km/h winds would wreak havoc on Japan's wooden housing stock. And we have more stories coming up after this final short break, so stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. The head of state and government of the Economic Community of Western African States arrived in the city of Niamey, capital of the Republic of Niger, to attend the meeting of 57th session of the community. Mali is a fundamental point on the agenda. The meeting will present the report on the consultations for the transition held in Bamako, and it is expected to concrete new requests and recommendations to address the political situation in Mali. The community has suspended Mali from all its rights inside the body since the coup d'etat of August 18, and the country remains under a partial embargo. The head of state and government who attend this summit ratified that they do not want to shock Mali, but help them out of the situation with a democratic alternative. India overtook Brazil on Monday as the country with the second highest number of confirmed coronavirus cases, even as key metro train lines reopened as part of the efforts to boost the South Asian nation's battered economy. India has emerged in recent weeks as the new global pandemic hotspot, although cases continue to soar across the globe, with reported infections worldwide nearing 27 million and deaths surpassing 800,000. France, Israel, and Australia were among the nations forced in recent days to extend travel restrictions or impose new ones to try and contain fresh surges. India, home to some of the world's most densely populated cities, has been reporting the highest single-day rises in the world, and on Monday it confirmed a new record of nearly 91,000 new cases.
It's not surprising that the numbers that are coming, and I think the way spreading and the way testing is improving, India would be at the top level for this by end of September or early October. But it's nothing to be too much worried about, I would say, because luckily for India, for factors largely unknown, the recovery rate has been pretty high. as well as the death rate has been pretty low as compared to other European or some of the American cities as well. So the Sero survey in Delhi, for example, came up with 29% people already infected. Now that means that we are 50% mark of what we would call a herd immunity level would be. And if things keep moving in that direction, maybe in Delhi, the growth will become very, very little by say end of October or November is where it would have reached peak and majority of the people would have got infected in some way or the other and the spread would kind of reduce post that.
Chairs were installed at Tel Aviv's Rabin Square to symbolize the 1,000 COVID-19 deaths in Israel, a country that had the situation under control, but now is seeing a spike on the number of cases. The Jewish state decided on Sunday to partially lock down several cities to slow the fast spreading of contagion as the government faces harsh criticism over the crisis. The Government Ministerial Committee on Coronavirus decided to impose a nightly closure on 40 cities and towns with the highest infection rates, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said in a statement. Israel passed the milestone of 1,000 novel coronavirus deaths this weekend after the toll tripled over the summer, fueling regular protests against Netanyahu's management of the health crisis and associated economic downturn.
Chairs protesting the fact that we have more than 1,000 people who lost their life because of this pandemic crisis. You can see that on each and every chair we have a small sign that marks the number of the person who lost their lives. Basically what we're saying is that we do not want to add any more chairs to this image. This image is large enough. More than 1,000 people who lost their life is a dramatic number. Therefore, we're calling to establish an investigative committee immediately. This crisis must be stopped today.
Thousands of activists from South Africa's left-wing Economic Freedom Fighters Party picketed outside stores of a leading retail pharmacy on Monday over a controversial racist hair advertisement. Wearing red party regalia, the supporters protested outside several Clicks pharmacy stores across the country, forcing them to shut over the adverts posted on its website, which described black hair as dull and white hair as normal. The company, which boasts of more than 500 branches across South Africa, has apologized and pulled down the adverts.
So Clicks must take full responsibility of putting in their website an advert that dehumanizes black people. That basically says that black people's hair is rubbish. We'll never accept that. That is what colonialism and apartheid did for centuries. That is what slavery did to our people.
The 48th edition of the Positano Prize of the Dance, Leonide Massine, was given to the director of the Cuban National Ballet, Viensay Valdez, in the category of Best Dancer of the International Scene. The well-known artist has dedicated this award to the recently deceased historian of Havana, Eusebio Leal. With the images of the Swamp Lake danced by this Cuban dancer, we finish this news brief. Remember, you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. Join us on social media. For TeleSUR English, I'm Laura Palmeiro. Thank you for watching.